of the government, author of The Preventative State, The Challenge of Preventing Serious Harms While Preserving Essential Liberties, Professor Alan Dershowitz. Professor, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche visited with Maxwell this week. You said last week that she should be freed so she can give the whole story. She received limited immunity and answered all of Blanche's question. What is next for Maxwell and the DOJ in this case?
Well, I hope that Congress will subpoena her. I hope that she'll have her sentence commuted and she'll be able to tell the whole truth. The whole truth is going to be very, very disappointing. Of course, there's no client list because Jeffrey Epstein had no clients. He was somebody who was interested in self-gratification. He had sex with many, or sexual contact at least, with many women, some below the age of consent, maybe 15, 16, 17-year-olds. We're not sure of the specifics, but there's no evidence of a client list. What there is there are accusations made by people against individuals. For example, one woman named Sarah Ransom accused Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, and Richard Branson of having sex with children and said she had a videotapes of it that she sent to Russia for safekeeping. The New York Post, which was the beneficiary of all this information, did an investigation, found out it wasn't true. She then admitted she made up the whole story. The same thing was true with another a woman named, what's her name? Maria Farmer. She made up stories about seeing people in places and at times when she couldn't have been in those places and times. She also denied the Holocaust and said that the Jews were to blame for all the problems of the world. So when you disclose everything, you're going to disclose a lot of accusations, some of which may be true, many of which are going to be false. And so the key is to make sure you can separate truth from falsity and not just assume that everybody accused is guilty, or just because somebody was on Epstein's plane made them a co-conspirator. None of that is true.
You know, the Wall Street Journal releasing more information this week saying Trump was told back in May that he was in the files. We knew they were friends. We also knew they had a falling out. So what's the big scoop here, if any?
There's no scoop. Everybody knows. There are photographs. Everybody knows that Donald Trump knew Jeffrey Epstein. So did Bill Gates. So did Bill Clinton. I mean, I was on a phone call once. I was at Caroline Kennedy's house having dinner with President Clinton. He was then president. The phone rang, and he took the phone and talked for 10 or 15 minutes, and then he handed me the phone. It was Jeffrey Epstein. We know he had friends all over the place. A woman named Lynn Forrester, who then became the Lady Rothschild, introduced Epstein to everybody. She was his introducer. She got him friends all over Martha's Vineyard and other places in New York. And so a lot of people were friendly with him. I used to go to science seminars that he sponsored at Harvard, where Nobel Prize winners, the president of Harvard, the provost of Harvard, all came. Of course, everybody is in the files. That doesn't mean anything. What's essential is whether anybody had sex with underage people or whether there was any trafficking. Those are issues that are right now extremely speculative, and we have to get to the bottom of it. And I think Ghislaine Maxwell can help us get to the bottom of it. If she is having her sentence commuted and given total immunity, she shouldn't be in jail for 5 years for what she is alleged to have done. She served more time than anybody has ever served for any comparable offense.
Well, Professor, to your earlier point about the contacts that Jeffrey Epstein had with numerous people, they also mentioned your name in the article, saying you sent Jeffrey Epstein a birthday message as well. You said last week they contacted you, but you couldn't remember if you did, in fact, write Epstein a birthday message. Will you be taking legal action against them? And has anyone else reached out to you?
No, I asked them if they would send me a copy of what they claim I did. I wrote, I would check my signature to see if it's authentic. They said they couldn't do it yet. Maybe they would do it in the future. My wife said she didn't think that I would ever send a birthday greeting that had a cover of a magazine. But I don't know. It was 23 years ago. I knew him. I went to his seminars. I was asked by Ghislaine Maxwell to write a birthday greeting. Of course I did. I've probably written hundreds of birthday greetings. I'm on this network that where I give birthday greetings to people and give the money to charity. So, birthday greetings are very, very common. And I wouldn't be surprised if I sent a birthday greeting, but I'd like to see the evidence. And I don't know why the Wall Street Journal is hesitant to send me what they claim is my own signature. If it's my own signature, I'll confirm it. If it's not, I'll tell them and they'll do further investigations. Let's get to the truth.
Fair enough. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson sent the House home a day early this week.
No one in Congress is blocking Epstein documents. No one in Congress is doing that. Democrats said nothing and did nothing, absolutely nothing, about bringing transparency for the entire 4 years of the Biden presidency. But now, all of a sudden, they want the American people to believe that they actually care.
The Democrats had 4 years to release these documents. Why is Johnson getting the blame for not doing something now?
Oh, it's ridiculous. Of course, they had all those years, and they had years even before that. Why this has suddenly become the biggest story in the world. I've gotten interview calls from India, from Russia, from Saudi Arabia. It's as if there's nothing else happening in the world. And I have to tell you, in the end, the story is going to be like Geraldo Rivera's story about having the vault of Al Capone. Weeks and weeks and weeks of buildup, and then on national live television, he opens up the vault and there's nothing in it. I'm not saying there's nothing in the Jeffrey Epstein vault. I'm saying that everything that's in it we already know. I don't expect to see any new revelations. The lawyer, Brad Edwards, for the victims himself said, after doing a long investigation, he hasn't found any prominent names of any people who did anything wrong. So this is the lawyer for the victims. And so I think we're going to have a big disappointment when all the records come out. That's a good reason for getting all the records out. I think the same thing is true of the Kennedy assassination. Let's turn out all the records and we'll find out that although the Warren Commission had real problems, probably his conclusion was correct. And there's nothing to see, and let's move on. Right. Conspiracy theories take on a life of their own when you hold back information. So let's not hold back information. From day one, I said I want every record revealed. I want every videotape out there. I waive any of my rights to privacy. Let's get it all out there and let's put this to an end.
All right, let's see if that happens. Professor Alan Dershowitz, thank you very much.